All right, you lot, don't forget to give us a follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating. Trust me, it really does help us out.
I don't remember when I first kind of saw your presence on like the WTF1 channel in terms of like probably the podcast, was it? Was that when you were first kind of... So was that a conscious decision by yourself or was that just out of necessity? Because, we don't have enough people, or maybe get Jess on?
Yeah, I think it was a mixture of things in that we definitely thought it was great to have female presence, because one of the biggest things that we wanted to build was a super welcoming community. And I don't think, again, there weren't that many women that were talking about F1 openly. And kind of, the thing I've always said is, if you look, and I'd say arguably even today, bar maybe Naomi Schiff, there are very few women that give their opinion. You'll see, and this is not to talk bad on Natalie Pinkham or the other female broadcasters, but a lot of the time they're facilitators of conversation for male analysts. So they do share their opinion, but their fundamental role is facilitator. And then there are a lot more than that. So I think it was the fact that I would unashamedly Bottas bash, or do you know what I mean? That's what I first
you became
got
very known for that, didn't you?
And
then there was that you met Valtteri, didn't you? And I remember that picture blew up.
It was genuinely how dare you show your face in front of him? Which was quite funny. But I mean, he's a mate, he's great, and he obviously doesn't know who I am. I very much doubt. Although he did buy merch from the WTF1 store one time, and it literally freaked me out because I was like, oh God, he knows who we are.
You don't know how much he knows, Jess.
Yeah. So,
got his burner account.
I know, genuinely. He's probably got not anymore because it's probably less of a thing now. But I bet at the time he had a dartboard. I mean, the amount of times I got tagged in, whenever he said to whom it may concern, it was he's talking to you, Jeff. I was like, you do realise he doesn't know who I am.
Imagine he said the Twitter handle at the end of the radio message.
Could you imagine? I mean, I think honestly, what clout, that you managed to piss off an F1 driver, but also,
That's a really good point, though. You're right. Apart from Naomi, I can't think, because there is a clear distinction, I think, between the analysts who, like you say, to I think Simon Lazenby, he's kind of more of a facilitator of conversation, and then you lean on, your Brundles, and even I think Crofty will give his take as well. How have you seen that dynamic change through your time in the sport? Because there is still very much, it is still, it's massively, male dominated, the sport. And how have you seen that change? Do you think it's moving in the right direction?
I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. I think even, Skies want to include Naomi. It was a massive win. I think she's
she's great, but she's just
quality.
She's so good.
I think that's the thing as well. It's there might have been, whether or not that's because, it's a bigger diversity problem in general, isn't it? But you tend to find that there maybe aren't that many people in the pool that are, diverse, which to me is just a strange way of talking about it anyway, because we're all humans. But, you do want to see a good collection of people with different perspectives and backgrounds and takes on things to be able to make people that are watching at home feel like they are
100%.
involved.
Yeah.
But Naomi was a great signing. And we definitely have got more women that are unashamedly talking about F1. Whereas before, when I first started out, I used to get so many messages from girls saying, I used to shy away from talking about F1 in school because it was all boys, and I would always feel like I'd get judged for my opinions. But seeing you, unashamedly, say what you think, it made me feel like I could. So, and that was, when we first started out. And now there's so many content creators or people that are coming through that are just saying, they feel like they should be a part of the sport. If I look at the demographics of my following, on Instagram, it used to be 90% male, if not more. Now it's it's in the low 80s. So there's been a massive swing to the number of girls wanting to get involved in F1. And I think it is because they're seeing themselves more, but they're also carving out their own they're carving their own community and their way of fandom, which I think has been a big, we've touched on TikTok, but that's been a massive drive, I think, in terms of the ways in which female fans are engaging with F1. You know, they might have a bit more of a, you know, they'll have like that, like there's She Loves F1. I follow her on TikTok. She's hilarious. But she has like Thirsty Thursdays where she looks at like the biggest thirst traps from F1 drivers.
Is it Pierre Gasly every weekend? Because he loves a first.
George Russell when he just didn't wear a shirt for
Right?
like 2 years straight. Yeah.
But it's true. Like we notice it, but she's turned that into a content series, and now she's known for it, and it's amazing. I think she even got Valtteri Bottas to say to camera, and now it's time for Thirsty Thursdays, right? And now she uses that in
What
her,
a man, Valtteri Bottas.
All right. I mean, he loves it.
He does.
He's a bit more subtle about it, but he is kind of the king of
he knows what he's doing with
nudity,
social
right?
as well.
Yeah, no,
I think in terms of like drivers who utilize social well, I think Valtteri's very underrated.
Yeah, I
'cause
mean
he kills it.
his whole bucket hat obsession now. Like he knows what kids want.
He knows what, he knows what he's doing. But no, I think I think it's within human nature when you see people doing something that relate to you, whether it's your gender, your skin color, your background. Like for me growing up, Johnny Herbert being from Collier Road, being from down the road.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I could be a racing driver.
Yeah.
I mean, we got here in the end, so I got so far. But I think that's just because I think it's such the laziest argument I always see is that, girls just aren't interested as much as boys. And I think that's such a... That's
Am I allowed
such
to
an
swear on this
uneducated...
podcast?
Swear away, mate.
Bullshit.
I just think that's such
bullshit.
Such... Because I think people look for the simple answer, but it's a way more multifaceted issue than that.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I look at it, we're going to go a bit deep here, guys. But I
Let's
even
go,
think,
mate.
like, you know, my upbringing, I was really fortunate in that I had brothers around me, my older brother in particular, who really wanted me to get into F1. So he brought me in and he gave me the tools I needed to be able to understand what is a really complex sport. But my mum as well, she's always operated in male-dominated arenas, nothing in sport, but just in business. And she always gave me that inner strength to go, you deserve your seat at the table. You can be here. You don't have to shy away. But I even look at my school where I grew up. I remember, and not to get like Meghan Markle on this, but I really wanted to play rugby in PE, and my school said no because girls don't want to play rugby. And I was like, are you joking? I said, we do want to play rugby, but it's such a lazy excuse. So what they said to me was if you get, I think what they say, 15 people, if you get 15 girls to sign up, we'll do a class. I got 30 girls to sign up to do rugby, right? It was you've just not asked us. You've assumed, girls don't want to get hit. Girls don't want to get dirty. Girls don't want to risk their makeup. But it's just all these stereotypes that actually have you gone in and said, what is it that makes you feel unwelcome? And it's a little bit I mentioned the race school I went to. I had so much going on in my head that was created by myself. And I will say, the school were amazing. Not for one. The only thing that happened, bar the kitting issue and not having kit small enough for me, I had to race in trainers. I had to do it in trainers, which you're catching the pedals are so close together, you're catching your feet. So that wasn't ideal. I went to registration, and they assumed I went with Chris, my other half, and they assumed I was there to watch Chris. When I went to registration, that, but it was, it was a brief moment, and I was like, no, I'm in the school. And after I said that, they were like, oh, amazing! Here's your stuff.
Yeah.
And that was it. But
it's
again,
that subconscious
initial
bias.
Yeah.
initial
And I always thought when I was doing it, I was saying to Chris, I was like, I'm so nervous that I'm going to be shit. And he went, well, what if you are? And I was like, because it won't be because I'm shit, it'll be because I'm a girl. And I feel carrying that weight of, I need to prove that there are some badass female drivers out there. And in the end, I think Chris and I worked out there was about half a second between us.
Yeah.
So, and he karts a lot more than I do. So I'll take it. Yeah, exactly. I've got the untapped talent. If only I was given a chance. But, similarly, my dad always said, I did a bit of karting when I was a kid, and my dad always said, it's a hobby, don't, and when I got to kind of GCSE level, I gave up all my hobbies because he wanted me to focus on education and getting into uni, which was a protective thing from him. But I think it's because the assumption there as well, and I think the Lionesses proved this in the summer in the Euros, right? That there's no future for female like careers, sports stars, like you're gonna get to a ceiling and then that's it. So what's the point in even starting? Which is just, again, like total bullshit. So yeah, I think there's a lot of, we need to instill confidence in girls, that they're welcome, that, you know, they can have just as good, if not better, takes. We all have shit takes. Like, Tommo, the stuff you tweet, mate. I am like, what on earth?
We've got 5 cameras in 4K here capturing this.
But I love it. Like, I no longer have to like reply to you and be like, what the hell are you talking about? You've got like over like 100,000 people telling you.
I get that immediate feedback. It's fine. No, but that's the thing, because whenever I talk nonsense, like, it's never because I'm a bloke. Like, that's never used against me. And that's the, you know, last week I was chatting to Tatiana Calderon on a podcast, and she's, you know, one of the most high profile female racing drivers in the world. And she's done Super Formula, she's done IndyCar, she's doing F2 at the moment. And, you know, we had a kind of a similar conversation talking about her experiences. And I also get to the point where I'm just like, it's really sad that you have to have this conversation, and you can't just be Jess. There's always this caveat.
All right, you lot, don't forget to give us a follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating. Trust me, it really does help us out.